You know you done me wrong, baby, and you'll be sorry someday. The thrill is gone, it's gone away from me. The thrill is gone, baby. The thrill is gone away from me. Although I'll still live on, but so lonely I'll be.
Hey now, Matt LaBarber Music here, and today we're learning about The Thrill Is Gone by B.B. King. Super fun, amazing song, just a blues with some variations. There's a bass line that kind of repeats throughout. There's a few little changes I'll show you, and it's really awesome. So before we get into it, I'd just like to encourage you to please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And if you have, like the video, comment, share, any of that stuff. It helps me so much to know who's watching and that people appreciate all the hard work that I put into making these videos. So let's zoom in and learn how to play this amazing song. So first, you'll notice in the play along part of the video that I'm actually plucking the strings with my thumb. And that's just because I'm trying to get like a more muted sound. Just trying to stop the note from ringing as much. And I'll show you what it sounds like without it. Not a huge difference, so it's more of a nitpicky thing for me. I just like the way it sounds. But you'll notice in the explanation of this, I'm just going to go ahead and use my fingers because maybe that's how you're playing it. But if you want the sound closer to what I was doing, you can use your thumb, or you can even mute with a pick. But I feel like he's plucking this one with his fingers. So first, let's go through what the notes are for the song, okay? We are starting with the 2nd fret on the A string, which, if you're keeping score, that's the note B. And then we're playing the 2nd fret on the D string, which is the note E, right? So essentially, thrill is gone, thrill is gone away, right? And then when you hear it go up, thrill is gone, it goes to the other string, right? There's another part of the song with the little turnaround, starting on the 3rd fret of the E string, which is the note G, and then it goes down to the 2nd fret, which is F sharp, okay? Those are the notes that you're playing. In order to not make it boring, they throw in some other stuff, right? But you could essentially just play that song, or play those notes for the song, right? But I'm going to show you the other things that they do in the song, to make it a little bit more interesting. So one is, instead of just starting on the 2nd fret, they actually lead in with playing the 1st fret and then playing that 2nd fret twice. So we're on the A string, and then it goes the same riff, 1 to 2, but on the E string. Okay, you hear that? There's one other thing that you'll hear me do sometimes, which is instead of just going 1 and 2 on the A string, it goes open, 1, 2. So I'll show you what that sounds like. You hear the difference there? It's very cool. I don't do it every time. It's just a little fill in between. So I'll show you what it sounds like with it and then without it. And then when it switches to the D string, it's the same thing. You can do one and two on the D, and then 1 and 2 on the A. So let me play that whole thing for you, and I'll include the fills sometimes. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so did you hear I kind of went and cycled through that like 4 times, right? This is 1, 2, 3, 4. Every time I land on the ba-da-da, that counts as 1, right? So there's 4 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to start this next riff. There's only 2 of those. And then they do this cool fill. After you go to this higher note twice, there's this cool little fill where it'll go 5 on the A string, 4, and then 2. So I'll show you what that sounds like. And then we go back to that first riff, okay? So, so far, I'll play everything that we've done, and I'll play it regular speed, and then I'll play it slow, because I don't want to go too fast or too slow for anyone. So, here's regular speed. 2, 3, 4. Change. 2. Then the fill. And then I'll do that same thing but slower, and I'll show you the turnaround, okay? So here's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, then the fill. And now, for this fill, or not the fill, sorry, for the turnaround, I told you before, it goes from G to F sharp, but instead of just going, which would be just fine, in order to make it a little bit more interesting, what it actually does is starts on the G on the D string, so the 5th fret, and then does this little octave thing. And if you're not sure what octaves are, I'll link you to a video that I have about that. Just a way to make this sound more interesting instead of just hanging on the same note. So really what it's doing is playing 5 on the D, then 5 on the A, just to get back to this 3 on the E. So okay, so instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, it goes. And then there's this cool little fill where we're going to go 5 on the D, 5 on the A, and then we end up on the 4 on the D. So then 4 on the A, 2 on the E. So again, all together. And I'm going to do that slow. Okay, so back to the riff. And that's the whole thing. Okay, so I'll play it through one more time, regular speed, and then one more time slow. And you should be able to do this yourself if I've done my job correctly. Okay, so here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. The higher one again, then the fill, 2, and then 1, 2. That's the whole thing. Now whole thing slow. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh yeah. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope you had as much fun learning this as I did learning it myself, I guess, and showing it to you. It's really great, so I think you're going to have a really fun time playing along. And again, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Like these videos, share them with anybody who you think might enjoy it, or check out some of my other stuff. There's going to be some popping up real soon. Visit MattLaBarbermusic.com to learn a little bit more about me and what I'm doing. And again, thank you so much. Happy bassin'. I'll see you in the future.